We're ready to go. It's two of the younger drivers in IndyCar on the front row. And it's time to go racing in St. Petersburg, Florida. Green is the call. Who gets the jump? Look at Newgarden on the inside. He's getting forceful. Bourdais goes the outside. Harvey swings wide in that pink car. And this is a hot spot. Can we tiptoe through here and get through cleanly?
Bourdais got into the back of Newgarden there at the turn 1 apex. They still continue on track. I don't know if there's any damage, but Rinus VeeKay has all kinds of pressure from behind.
Simon Pagenaud had a little bit of contact with his Frenchman, Sebastian Bourdais, but clean first lap so far. I like the way they're racing right now.
Graham Rahal to the outside of Alexander Rossi in the pink AutoNation car.
And Rahal is fired up for a big weekend. He was pleased with the effort at Barber a week ago, but wants more points right here, right now at St. Pete. Mad scramble at the front. Herder and Harvey, exactly how they started. Newgarden, Pagenaud, Bourdais, and then Rinus VeeKay.
Guy who got shuffled back is Pato O'Ward. He went from 6th down to about 7th or 8th, so he lost out on the start. Will Power making positions already.
Sneaking by Ed Jones there.
So we got a run right here. Reds versus blacks. We'll see if Simon can hold off right here, but he's got a little bit of gap there. Must have used a little bit of push to pass.
Pagenaud's car got hit in the right rear. The team looked at it as he went around course, and they radioed back to him that it looks okay. Simon radioed the same, feels okay.
When you hear Paul say reds versus blacks in IndyCar, you have to race on 2 different compounds of tire in the race, and you have to use both compounds at least once. And the red wall tires are the softer compound tires. Pagenaud is on the primary tire, the harder compound blacks, and there's been a lot of conjecture as to what combination and when you run them is going to work out the best over these 100 laps here today.
And there you see the split, 13 on the harder primaries, 11 on the alternates, so the teams agree with us. They don't know which one's better either, so we'll have to see how that plays out. The multi-car teams with teammates to give feedback have an advantage in terms of figuring out during this first run what might be the way to go. Let's take another look at that start, because for a second there it looked like we'd have another major incident at St. Pete in turn 1. Newgarden in that white and black car looking in the inside, starts to back out, and look at Sebastian Bourdais in the all-black rocket car, gets into the back of Newgarden.
The guy who made the moves was Alexander Rossi. He went from 11th, 12th up to right now 8th. O'Ward slipped from 6th back to 9th. So nice moves right there by the 27 AutoNation car.
Wasn't just this black and white rocket Chevrolet getting into the back of Newgarden. Sebastian Bourdais hit fellow Frenchman Simon Pagenaud as well, as he now is trying to wrestle off the spectacular youngster in Rinus VeeKay.
Rinus is very aggressive, Townsend. He loves to race hard, has no qualms about doing a little wheel banging either.
For a young driver, you've got to give him the information and just show him black and white. Here's what you're doing, here's what the guys that are winning championships are doing, and that's the best way to feed the information. And obviously to Andretti with Rossi, Hunter Ray's won a championship over there. They've got the information to help their young, fast driver understand the big picture.
Well, he's got a pretty good coach on the radio as well. His dad, Brian, was a real good IndyCar driver and a multiple-time winner, and he knew how to save fuel and go fast. So he's got the advantage of that, whereas in Alex Palou last week, he was a master last week of saving fuel and tires, and nobody was telling him what to do. So you got to figure this stuff out.
Alex Palou, who started 10th, runs 14th, and this is Jimmy Johnson in the Carvana Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Looks like it's at the hairpin at the last corner.
That
a
is.
lot of guys have been going off there.
Can you back it out?
I think he stalled it.
I was circling, Paul, the flat spot on the right front tire, so I think that tells the story. Big right front lockup.
It won't go.
Stuck in first gear. He's letting the
You're in
clutch out.
first. Go back. Now you're in reverse. And it's not going anywhere.
So they're watching the telemetry from pit lane. Got to get the car to neutral, then hold the reverse button, pull the clutch in, select the downshift paddle on the backside, and you can see the hands of Jimmy Johnson working furiously as the car's still running. He knows he's losing valuable time.
The problem you got too, the longer it's sitting here running, it's going to overheat, because these cars are meant to flow air over the radiators, and at some point it's going to overheat, and he's going to have to shut it off.
Sometimes what you have to do is start to slip the clutch paddle as everybody's trying to race into pit lane before it goes full course yellow and the pits are closed.
Yeah, this opens the window, Townsend. You see Will Power, Romain Grosjean pitting here. They're going to get these red Firestone Firestone's off and the primary tire's on and power. They call him immediately to pit road. The longer Johnson sits there, they have to throw a caution at some point, so everyone trying to take advantage of that and pit before the caution comes out.
Will Power, Romain Grosjean in that Nurtec Honda for Dale Coyne Racing with Rick Ware Racing, and Jimmy is still trying to juggle it, trying to engage that. This is what happened. Have a listen.
Just locked it up and couldn't make the turn. Lucky he didn't get hard into the wall. A couple lights cars got, you see the black mark on the wall, got into the wall, but Colton Herta just brushed the wall. Pretty light tap, but you don't want to be doing any more of that bend to toe link. But still, they haven't gone yellow. There's really, Townsend, no access for the safety car to get over there without going out on the track. And then we got some Herta radio as well. Listen to this.
Looking tracks ripping up in turn 9. All right, copy that. Let's keep that to ourselves.
And there's the caution, finally.
Full course yellow, pits are closed.
These guys that pitted like Will Power just got a big advantage of these guys that stayed out. That's going to cycle Colton Herta behind those guys that pitted.
We don't know how many of the leaders will actually opt to come to pit lane here.
Jimmy Johnson is going again. The field is packed up again, and the field is ready to go. And restarts here down into turn 1 to be pretty spicy. Listen to the call.
Green, green, green.
A lot of pickup on the tires as 24 cars go firing down into turn 1. You can see marbles on the track.
Oh, big lock up by Bourdais. Nearly gets into the back of Simon again as BK was challenging him on the inside.
Graham Rahal in that blue and white United Rentals Honda right there. He's sizing VK up.
Oh, Rahal goes for the outside. Big, strong overtaking move on the outside. Oh, Rossi stuffs it on the inside of Scott Dixon right there.
VK blocked Rahal up the inside, but braked really early for the corner. And Rahal had all the grip on the line and just sailed right by.
VK's in trouble here. He's sliding around all over the place. Rossi now is all over the back of him.
That lockup was so significant, folks. Our announce booth on the right-hand side, on the outside, I should say, coming to turn 1. The smoke infiltrated our announce booth.
I just thought that was your chosen scent for today.
Not mine. So let's see what VK does here, because he's now coming under the pressure of
look at
not only
right
Dixon,
here,
but Alexander Rossi as well.
Nice run by Dixon off the corner. He's got Rossi's under pressure here.
Big dive on the inside. Takuma Sato on James Hinchcliffe. They hit. Wheel-to-wheel contact. And the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport car.
Got a flat tire, flat front tire. So they hit wheel-to-wheel flush, Townsend. It could have knocked the valve stem off of that rim, and immediately it went flat.
Yeah, I was surprised Hinch tightened things up like that in turn 1. Sato was very much there. Wonder if Hinch knew that Sato was square up there. A lot of these cars, these drivers will have spotters down in turn 1, giving them that information, just like on an oval. Let's take a replay.
So Sato dives in, really no lockup, and then bang, wheel-to-wheel flush, and you see something come out of the wheel right there, probably knocked the valve stem off the rim, and then immediately the tire was flat. Watch something fly in the air here.
Might have knocked the wheel out of Sato's hands as well on the contact. You can see his hands come off the wheel. So pretty big impact. Here we go on board.
I saw the valve stem. See that silver valve stem jump off the wheel right there?
Check this out, Romain Grosjean, Will Power. This is turn 10. It's wheel-to-wheel there, and Grosjean into the wall.
Oh, and then Ed Jones gets both of them.
And prior to that, Grosjean in that bright purple car chasing Will Power. Wow, so 2 walks laps within a lap for Romain Grosjean.
He's playing a game of bumper bowl. That 51.
Oh, he hit the wall again.
Nurtec car still hanging in there. That thing's tough, Paul.
Here comes Seb, hits his marks perfectly. Crew goes to work. Pit stop should be between 6 and 7 seconds to get him on and off of pit road and back onto the streets of St. Petersburg. Big wing adjustment for Bourdais as he gets it fueled up and leaves.
Great, terrific first stint for Jack Harvey. He leaves his pit stall as well. Got those red tires off, and they did an outstanding job kind of pacing everybody there. Yes, they were holding up the field a little bit, but now they're done with the reds for the day, primary tires for the rest of the day.
Joseph Newgarden right now is clawing the lead away from Colton Herta. He's got it down to 1.7. He is flying right now. Herta still out there on the reds. Newgarden on blacks, closing the gap in a hurry.
That was Rinus VeeKay, I believe. Remember that battle between VeeKay and Award. Award out of the pits, but VeeKay beats him on the over-under. Marty, here comes the leader.
Here comes the leader, Colton Herta. This was their goal, Townsend, to make it to lap 34 on pit road. You see him, followed by Joseph Newgarden. So 1 and 2 on pit road together, and we'll have to watch this blend. For Colton Herta, it's going to be sticker, primary tires, and also the same call for Joseph Newgarden. That means on the next stop, Newgarden must have those red tires, and let's watch this blend. It's always tough here at St. Pete.
That was sketchy.
Yeah.
He was rolled away a little bit before the fueler was unplugged.
Had the wheels turned ready for a quick exit. Good work, Andretti Autosport. It was Andretti versus Team Penske, and Herta was able to stay ahead of Joseph Newgarden.
Got a pit on this lap. Got a pit on this lap.
That's the voice
We're going to blacks.
Voice of Kyle Moyer at Team Penske. The message to Simon Pagenaud. Come on in this time.
Definitely put the hammer down. He pulled a 2-second gap on Rossi. Here he comes.
Racing in right to that pit lane speed limit line. The 2019 Indianapolis 500 winner.
And Lee, he prefers a very stable Chevrolet race car. Under him, Kyle Moyer told him they've gotten him to that point this weekend, and you could see it the way he was handling this Australian Gold. Beautiful livery car, and he's off a pit lane in a hurry.
Remember,
way long.
He was battling, Pagenaud was battling with Bourdais as Rossi's in the box.
Just imagine the discipline for Pagenaud and Rossi sitting in that traffic the entire time, waiting patiently, saving all the fuel they could because they wanted to go further right here to lap 36. It should give them advantage. We'll watch for this blend to see how much of an advantage it gives them.
Pagenaud in front of Harvey.
Rossi had a slow stop. The inside rear tire had a bit of an issue, and here comes Graham Rahal. Hot tires, cold tires, and then big contact in the corner.
Rossi just turned in on Graham.
Flat tire.
Right front flat tire for Rossi.
Again, wheel to wheel, knocked the valve stem off the wheel, and Rossi now has a flat, and he's stalled.
And his right rear brake caliper is on fire. You can see the
Can you get in
flames
reverse?
there.
So this is one of our stories from the top of the show. Drivers who
Emergency
needed
mode won't work.
to have a good race here in St. Pete. Alexander Rossi was one of those, and it's gone away from him.
Again, it won't go in reverse. You got to be so careful. You got to calm down and not rev the motor up. When you put it in reverse, you don't want to be spinning the motor up. The car won't go into gear like that. And look at the brakes, so hot and on fire.
That'll go out as long as Rossi can get moving again. It needs airflow to put out the flames. There he goes. Paul, you can race side by side here. You can hip check, but you can't turn in on guys when they have the corner.
Especially when you know that they're on hot tires. And you got to be careful on a flat tire here, not trying to go too fast and end up in the wall. But I mean, he had a bit of a slow stop, and because of that, he knew he had to hustle on the outlap. Graham Rahal saw the opportunity, and rightly so, went down the inside. And Rossi turned in on him, and it was bang, wheel-to-wheel contact, and it knocked the valve stem off the rim.
Struggling, trying to get that car back home. There was one driver who had not pitted when that happened, and that was Alex Palou. You may have noticed the NTT data Honda dove for pit lane car number 10. Meanwhile, Colton Herta continuing on where he has been the whole time. This is what brought the most recent piece of action. Rahal and Rossi. It didn't end well.
Yeah, certainly not the weekend, back-to-back weekends that Pato Award wanted. The obvious fastest car last week at Barber, they did not win, and now here they're not so good this weekend at St. Pete either. Only with not only with the handling, but also that overboost issue. You heard Taylor Kyle say, "Tell us what you want for the primary tires," and you see that major wing adjustment on both sides. Hope that helps them out a little bit. At this point, if they can finish top 10, that would be an okay day for Pato Award.
Man, oh man, Townsend, they wound in about 4 turns a front wing.
No.
He said I couldn't get it to turn, and then it snapped sideways on him on the straightaway. So he's going to have a bunch of COP on the front, which is center of pressure. The front wings on these cars put a lot of downforce down, so they made a major change in the front.
Watch this guy
Remember
hustle
your
the
rear
outlap.
bar when you get a chance. Remember your rear bar.
Making a rear roll bar adjustment. Award pushing super hard here. He knows this is his chance to claw back lost ground on this outlap. Coal black tires.
Nearly slaps the wall. So Herta now is almost out to 11 seconds. He's just like clicking off the laps. First guy to pit now, Pato Award. You hope that it doesn't go yellow.
You do if you're Pato Award,
you do
though.
if you're Pato Award. So
his final stop.
He's the first guy to pit, and he runs wide in turn 1. Check this out.
Turn 10.
Plenty of room there, but it was sideways coming off the corner. Watch the steering wheel here.
Beautiful catch, and Takuma Sato's in, Dave.
Gets the Reds off, puts the primaries from Firestone on the race car. The winner of the Indianapolis 500 last year, trying to add another trophy here from St. Pete. He's never won it. He's finished in the top 5 a couple of times. You see more pit action on pit road as well. You see Sebastian Bourdais in the 14. He'll take the primaries as well. Can Seb pull it forward at the end here? Here comes Grosjean.
And Scott McLaughlin released as well.
And in the distance, Colton Herta. Huge lead, Marty. They just got to do these 4 tires without a bobble, and he should be out comfortably in the lead.
I mean, just a masterful job from the 21-year-old. An 11-second lead when he pulled into pit road. And to answer that question, they're going to go with sticker primary Firestone tires for Colton Herta. All they need is a clean stop. Joseph Newgarden will also pit road. In exchange, Newgarden almost runs into Colton Herta's crew. He will come in. They are forced to do the softer red tires for Joseph Newgarden. They have not run those today. We'll see if he can gain any time in this transaction.
Marty, Simon Pagenaud was not forced to run the Reds, but his team chose to put the softer Firestone compound on. Pagenaud in the gold, number 22, will leave on Firestone Reds.
Tell you what, it could be the most miraculous turnaround in successive weekends for Colton Herta. If he can win this race, he'll go from 22nd in the points, leaving Barber as Pagenaud gets back up to speed. Herta would find himself 4th in the point standings. A drastic turnaround.
Such a big lead for Colton Herta. He was able to get in and get out before Newgarden even came to the box, so it looked a lot closer than it was, but if I was that front tire changer Townsend, I would have sent him too.
Just makes it out in time. Meanwhile, Scott Dixon staying out, taking advantage of the clean track. Now Dixon's in pit lane. Colton Herta back to the front.
Car way off on driver's right turn 4, but he's way off. There's no flag. Track is green.
You guys have said a few times for Scott Dixon, it's been kind of a quiet day on Sunday, but I think they would take it considering how much they struggled Friday and Saturday. In fact, this morning, they didn't like the car in warm-up, so they kind of bailed on a plan. They were going with a brand new setup, kind of did a hybrid with what they used to do as street courses. His teammate Alex Palou trying to pull into his pit as Dixon pulls out. We'll see if Dixon can gain some time on Herta, who's been masterful today.
That was a lot tighter. Yeah, that was a lot tighter in out with Palou, with his teammate, than it was for Newgarden and Herta. So
Dixon on cold black tires, but Sato, who's already made his last stop, is right there. Meanwhile, Dalton Kellett just inside the apex of turn 1, just outside the pit exit. He is safely out of the way. I would imagine that IndyCar will just leave him there.
Well, it's worked for Colton Herta and Joseph Newgarden. It has not worked out to plan today for Jimmy Johnson. The Carvana Honda stranded on the side of the track. Second time we've seen Jimmy in a situation today.
And this was the yellow that we kind of need to pack this race up and get something going. But that's the fastest section of the track right there.
Yeah.
Townsend, I got to think he just did a pit stop, probably came out on cold tires and lost it, I would think.
You can see the crossing skid marks that suggest that he just lost it.
Well, he didn't
Right
come
on
out of
board.
the pit, so. Whoa! Hit the nose, so broken front wing, hit the rear of the car as well, and I mean, that section of the track is so fast and it's so slick offline. If you just drop a wheel 1 inch too far into those marbles back there, you are going for a ride.
And we're ready to go again. It's time to bring the action here in St. Pete.
Green.
Ready, green. Here we go.
Newgarden has to attack right now. He's got to use the extra grip that he's got with these reds. He's going to have a little look, but he wasn't close enough. Pagenaud right there on the back of Newgarden. Oh, big sideways there on cold tires.
I think the advantage is on the reds right now on this restart. Restarting on blacks here, it can historically be very difficult. So to your point, Paul, this is Newgarden's chance. You can see how close he's able to follow Herta.
It's just a little bit more extra grip on these tires for a couple laps. He's got to utilize it and make the move if he can.
Remember, Newgarden going for 3 in a row. Pablo Montoya won a couple of years back-to-back. Then Sebastian Bourdais here on his home streets, his adopted home. And then it's been Newgarden 2019 and 2020. Joseph could get the hat-trick here at St. Peter's. He lights it up off turn 10.
Push to pass will become active after they cross start-finish. So maybe Joe New's going to wait for that, but he might not have to. He fires it into that last corner, but he won't get a run coming off.
About 172 miles an hour is the top speed down here entering turn 1. And Herta has been able to keep him at bay for now.
And there you see Newgarden has more push-to-pass seconds left than anybody else in the field.
Look at the down-low shot along the ground. Look at all those marbles. You can't even put an inch outside of the groove. So making that pass is also going to be extra difficult, because to do that, you got to get out of the line and drive through those marbles to make it happen, Townsend.
Newgarden stalking, patiently trying to find his opportunity. He'll have a decent straightaway here, but I think it's going to come on the front stretch. He's got to be careful not to overcook the entry into turn 14 like he did last lap and take advantage of that push to pass.
Yeah, the whole key for Herta is to get the exit, the drive off the corner. So he's backing up the corner just a little bit to ensure that he can get on the power soon. Newgarden right there, but a good exit again.
They're starting to sneak away a little bit from
There's
Simon
110 overtake behind.
22 laps to go here in the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
That calm, chill California voice of Dad, Brian Herta, giving Colton the information he needs to know where Newgarden sits with the available boost left.
How can Dad not get as excited as we are up in here? He's watching his son hold a two-time champion off for the lead.
That's how we roll in SoCal.
Colton has never won in his young career on a street course. His 3 victories to date have been all natural road courses. Circuit of the Americas, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Mid-Ohio. Some classic circuits. There's Dad Brian. He sat on the pole position here way back in 2005.
So Pagenaud right now really doesn't have anything for these two guys. He's just kind of sitting there watching. They've kind of pulled away, but Pagenaud's also pulled away from the rest of the pack. Harvey has kind of fell off the back of him, so it's shaping up right now to be a 2-man race here. Maybe Pagenaud can make something happen.
21 to go. Good job.
These guys work each other hard, Dave, and wear these tires out.
What I was wondering is if that was what Pagenaud was thinking. I couldn't attack on the opening laps after the resumption of the race. I'll just save them a little, but he can't let him get too far away.
No, he's just got to keep the pressure on, and just when you apply pressure and make the guy look in his mirrors, you hope that he just misses an entry or locks a brake and runs a little bit wide. And right now, the track at this stage of the race, Townsend, it's treacherous if you miss the line.
It is, but you can see from that beautiful helicopter shot just how well Colton Herta's car is exiting the corners. And just remember, Colton opened up about a 10-second lead before the yellow, and now we've got the 18 Sealmaster car of Ed Jones sideways and blocking the track, and Joseph Newgarden and Simon Pagenaud are going to get another shot at Herta. The yellow's out.
Ed Jones in his return year to the NTT IndyCar Series, driving for Dale Coyne Racing with Vasser Sullivan. What has happened to Ed? It's over in turn 4. Was there contact? We're about to find out as the AMR safety team approaches the scene. See the bright yellow car there. Goes on the inside of Hinchcliffe and then gets tagged by Pato O'Ward as well. There's problems here at Arrow McLaren SP. That's more than likely because of that contact with Pato O'Ward and Ed Jones and James Hinchcliffe, and O'Ward is furious in the car. They're so frustrated. We're ready to go. Racing again. Green flag is at the ready. This first turn is going to be the spot.
Green, green, green.
Good start by Newgarden and by Simon Pagenaud. Newgarden right there in the draft. Does he pop out? No, he decides not to.
A couple of cars side by side, two teammates. Will Power and Scott McLaughlin. Power squeezes through. McLaughlin's going to have the line. He lets him get it.
Oh, that was a lot of respect out of McLaughlin.
That's good, clean racing right there. That's what I like to see.
That's for a spot in the top 10. Here comes Sebastian Bourdais on Marcus Ericsson. There in the blue and orange car, the Views Chevrolet. That's Felix Rosenquist. Haven't seen a lot of Felix in this race today. He's now putting pressure on McLaughlin, and the Barber winner, Alex Palou, in that bright blue NTT Data. Honda is right there.
We haven't shown a lot of Harvey either. He's still top 4, but right there, Felix Rosenquist sideways, hanging onto the car, trying to get the marbles off.
I was looking at McLaughlin with the big slide coming out of turn 10 here. McLaughlin hanging on. So Colton Herta's passed the test once, so far twice.
Oh. Wow, like father, like son. He certainly drives a lot like his dad, Brian. Silky smooth, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So push to pass now. He's going to try to lay down some fast laps now, bringing it home on the last lap. Ensure that he's going to maybe go for fast lap of the race.
1 lap to go, less than 1.8 miles on what has been a spectacular day for Colton Herta.
Goes through the tight section of the track here, Lee. Nothing but concrete around you, but he's got such a nice gap, and once again, smooth, deliberate. Oh, maybe that's a little bit for show. That's the most we've seen all day.
I think he's on push to pass again. He's only a 10th off the fastest lap of the race, so I think he's going to try to go for that too and really put a cap on the weekend.
What a day. What a day. He told us a week ago, just get me to St. Pete. I want to get out of here now after that opening lap crash at Barber. Well, he has come back. He has responded emphatically. Colton Herta will win his very first street course race. Colton Herta at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Pete sees that checkered flag.
P1, baby. Good job.
Mario Andretti there to congratulate Brian. So the father and son now have 4 career victories together.
He just asked permission to do donuts.
He did, Townsend. He said, am I allowed to do donuts or not? And Brian said, of course, have at it.
And he's mastered the donuts as well. Look at that perfect right front tire locked up. Perfect donuts right there as well.
Going to climb out as a winner here in 2021. After a rough start to the season, they answer big time. Woo, man. How about that? Leading all but 3 laps. Is that maybe the most dominant performance of your entire racing career, Colton?
It's one of them. It's one of the most tired I've been in a race car too. My hands all beat up from this place. What a great job by everybody. Cambridge, Honda. Sorry if I can barely talk. I'm so winded. Yeah, Jesus. I'm so happy that we did this. So happy to rebound from Barber and get the momentum going for the season that we need, which is a championship season.
How about the 2 restarts with Joseph Newgarden, one of the best right behind you, who had won the last 2 races here?
Yeah, I mean, he's so good around here, and props to him and his guys. They've done a great job this year too. But yeah, I was nervous because he was on those new red tires, and I thought they were going to be better, but they ended up being similar. So I was able to hold him off, and oh man, I can't even speak right now.
Everybody in the offseason asked you about your dad being on your timing stand. How about getting the first win together as a duo?
That was awesome, and I tied him for wins today too, which is even more special. So love that he's on my radio, and they all did an amazing job. Everybody at Cambridge, so happy to be powered by Honda, Group 1001, Dan Tires. Oh, what a hell of a job.
Real quick, show us your hands, because I saw them, man, they are cut up. I mean, that's crazy. Is that the physical nature of this racetrack or what?
Yeah, I mean, once you keep adding rubber, the wheel just gets more and more jerky and just wants to rip out of your hands. So I'm glad this race wasn't 10 laps longer like it used to be, and it was 100 laps. So really excited. Great job by everybody. Wow, what a start to the year.
Watch the Genesis 300, Saturday, May 1st at 7 p.m. on NBCSN.